What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode on the Black Experience, y'all. Welcome back to season 5. We are still in season 5, y'all, and we are 100 plus episodes in, y'all. So for all of you guys that have supported me up to this journey, I appreciate you guys. It's been 2+ years of this podcast, so thank you so much. And if you're new, welcome. Give this video a like, comment down below your thoughts about this video once it completes. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube and follow button on Spotify. Today, y'all, we have a very special guest with us, as usual. Today, we have someone who is both a model as well as an avid photographer that is growing and that is a member of this community, the Colors Studios community. Let's put our hands together and let's bring up Naya.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
I'm super excited to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking me to be on. And yeah, I'm ready to get into this and try out a podcast for the first time. I've never been on a podcast, so a little nervous, but I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. It's actually it's funny because there's a growing list of amount of people that I have on the podcast that I meet for the first time while I'm doing the podcast with them, and then because in the past it was just like close friends, so
Yeah.
growing that circle, and but it's definitely networking.
That's a great part about Colors, for sure.
Absolutely. Shout out to Armando, first of all. You know, Armando, he's the man that runs this place and runs events and stuff. So it's been amazing.
Yeah,
but
he's really great.
yeah, how's your morning been so far?
Pretty good. Just getting ready for this. Gonna do a model casting right after this with Fuego and Sophia for something that they've got coming up that's exciting. And yeah, I took the ferry over here. I live over in Paulsbo. You said you had heard of that before, but for those that don't know, Paulsbo is also called Little Norway, because there was like Scandinavian, Norwegian immigrants that came over and settled in the 1880s, and that's where I grew up, and I consider my hometown, and so just a busy morning, getting ready, getting over nerves, getting ready and set up for
Absolutely.
this.
Absolutely. No, it's appreciate you taking the time. I know you got something going on right after this, so
back to back, always
back
busy
to back.
days.
Yeah, you are a busy lady, so that's what's up. But we can kick it off a little bit talking about your background. I know you kind of just gave it away a little bit, but tell us a little bit more where you're from, and then what your early childhood looked like, favorite memories, anything from that era that you want to share with the audience.
Yeah. Also wanted to say congratulations to you on your 100th episode. That's really exciting, and I'm excited to be part of the second 100 episodes. But yeah, I also heard not that long ago that you had a horse girl on here. I don't remember her name exactly. Yes,
I did have her on.
Yeah, so I'm also a horse girl. I grew up riding horses competitively for like 18 years. I actually just got out of it in 2024, taking a break from it, and I really only been in it for modeling now and getting cool opportunities to do photo shoots with other apparel companies that want to use horses for it. And I just did a really cool project with Fuego and Sophia too for her podcast with a barn that a friend of mine that's a horseback riding trainer. We got to go out and use her barn and everything for that. So it's been cool to mesh my passions, and as I've grown as a creative, being able to tie in my roots of horseback riding. And so I started at my neighbors. They own a horse barn next door to me, so I grew up with riding my horses down, just hopping on, riding down the driveway with my sister and taking lessons. And then I eventually moved to a competitive barn just down the road, like 8 minutes from my house in Paulsbo as well, and I've gotten to compete all over Washington, Oregon, Canada. Super cool. Definitely my favorite childhood memories was getting to grow up around horses and being blessed to be around animals, and my parents really put an emphasis on being connected to nature, being outside. Like we're early 2000s babies, my sister and I, so a little bit before the social media came out, and we were really just exposed to being outside. We weren't iPad kids whatsoever, maybe DSi kids, but but yeah, I'm really thankful for our upbringing and being able to go and experience the world. And my parents, come from a family of business owners, so entrepreneurship was kind of just like I knew from the start I was going to be a
Mhm.
photographer by the time I was like 12 years old. Yeah, so my mom, she owns a production company as doing drag shows. And a lot of them are in Seattle, but she also brought it over to Kids Up as well, which is really cool. My dad, he owns a meat business.
Mm.
Yeah, we've raised cows on our property. They own 22 acres in
Oh,
Paulsbo.
damn.
And yeah,
That was a lot of acres.
yeah, so like
Yeah.
I said, animals all around us, always horses, cows, goats, not chickens though. I'm scared of chickens.
You're scared of chickens?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Do you like chicken? Like the food?
Yeah, I
for
like
eating it?
chicken.
Yeah.
I'm scared of chickens.
Have you been chased by chickens?
Yeah,
That's probably why.
I feel like it's a fear. My mom's scared of them too. She's been chased by some.
Really?
But yeah, so grew up in Paulsbo and with a family of entrepreneurs, and yeah, it's just always been in the family, having a business mindset and working for what you want, and taking any opportunity that comes your way. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
I like that.
yeah,
I like that. I was the opposite. I never grew up with animals.
really,
For me, my fear. Well, actually, I can't say. I don't like to say fear because then that like mentally does something. But an animal I'm getting used to, and my friends know this, is dogs.
Do you really?
Specifically,
I'm
yes.
such a dog person.
Oh my god, I've been chased by so many chihuahuas.
It's the
So
little dogs.
many,
I'm
the little
telling
dogs.
ya.
I mean, the big dogs. I mean, there's something else too, but chihuahuas are just
Yeah.
annoying.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I remember as a kid. You know, I also I'm a 2000s baby, and I'd be riding my scooter or whatever like that, or my bike, and then these little these neighborhood chihuahuas would jump over the fence and like come at my ankle, and just bad memories. So
I know it'd be like
I'm trying to get over that. But that's what's up. And I've only been on a horse once.
really.
and it
Did
was
you
ba-
like it?
Yeah,
Good.
yeah, it was
They're
fun.
very healing and very therapeutic. Something I always tell people when they don't know much about horses, or they say that they're scared of horses, is
Yeah.
horses, they're very empathetic creatures. They feel everything that you're feeling. So they can feel when you're scared, and sometimes horses will take advantage of that. Like they'll like be a little extra bit of an asshole because they can sense that fear, but they can feel everything that you're feeling. And that's something that I loved about horses growing up, is being able to have that connection and really getting in tune with my emotions. Because if I'm nervous and I'm panicking about my course I'm about to do, my horse is going to feel that. That's going to translate into my horse's feelings and how that round is going to go. And
Right.
so I've always been super in tune with my emotions because of that background, and trying to keep that energy aligned with the horse and myself.
You got to be confident.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the horse is
confidence.
going to take advantage of you. That's what's up. So, Naya, I still remember when you became a member at Colors. There was so many members coming in. But when you came in and you were posting in the group chat kind of the work you do, and I looked at your profile, I mean, photography seems to be your world right now. So tell us a little bit, what sparked that interest to go into photography, and when did that start?
Yeah, like I said, I picked up my first camera when I was about 12 years old. My mom just had a camera, and it was at the horse shows. So my first two horseback riding trainers, shout out to Julia and Karina if you're listening, they both were photographers on the side. And that was just like their fun hobby that they did. And it's actually a very popular thing to do in the horse world, is getting into photography. Like, it's just a hobby that all the horse girls had done back then. And I just stuck with it. Like, I knew that it wasn't going to just be a hobby, and that this is what I wanted to do. So it started with just me taking pictures of rounds that that my friends were doing on their horses, taking pictures of other people, and it just kind of took off from there. And I got good with it, and then I got a camera as a birthday gift, and then I started taking pictures of my friends at school and taking senior portraits for my friends. And then it wasn't until college that I really figured out that I wanted to be a branding photographer, and that I really work well with other entrepreneurs and business owners, and that I love bringing the vision of other people's businesses to life. And just, yeah, I connect well with people, and I feel like my best work comes out when I'm working with like-minded people that are into business, entrepreneurship, personal development, all of that.
Yeah, and you got that probably from your parents, because they're both business owners.
Yeah, probably. I love nothing makes me feel better than highlighting the successes of other people and bringing out confidence in other people, and just like being able to to show you that you're doing the thing. You're putting yourself out there and your passion, and it can be hard to do. And
Yeah.
I like pushing people to keep pursuing their business and keep being consistent and just celebrating their successes and their wins with them.
Wow. Okay, so when you're, let's say, you know, because you and I, we're definitely gonna collab, and I'll eventually do my own photo shoot.
Yeah, your branding
Stay
shoot.
tuned. Stay tuned, y'all.
This branding shoot's coming up.
No, I really need it, especially because like people have been telling me like, man, this podcasting, man, you got to take it to the next level now.
Yeah,
you know?
especially now that you're at 100 episodes, it's time for some branding photos,
I
putting
think
a
it
face
is.
behind the name.
I think it is. Yeah. So, describe to us a little bit. What is that? This is actually something I've always wondered, because I have a lot of friends that are photographers that have taken pictures of me in the past and senior year and all that good stuff. What is your creative process like? Let's say, walk us through. So, so let's say you and I are collabing. I'm coming into the studio. What is that process like? What is that procedure that you like to follow?
Well, something you just mentioned before we started is how I paid attention and that I do my research on who I'm going to be photographing. And so I went through your page, I went stalking, I went through your YouTube channel and watched some episodes. I think I've watched like 5 episodes. You've had some really, really cool, inspiring people on here. Definitely added a little bit to my nerves to follow up with. But yeah, so I definitely do my research. I try to make all of my shoots. I'm not a point and shoot photographer. Like, I don't like people to show up. Like, you have to reach out to me to be able to book with me. Like, you can't, when you go to my website, there's not like a pick your date and book and I'll see you then. Like, you have to get to know me first. And I'm all about working with people that I align with. Not necessarily like, I love other perspectives, viewpoints. Like, I love working with like different people, but I love overall working with people who are passionate about what they do. Like, this isn't just I have to get pictures done. Like, I want someone who's like excited about showing up for a shoot, excited about putting like a face to their brand and what they want their business to look like. And so when I'm having these conversations, I'm like, what do you want to attract? Like, what is your ideal clientele that what are you trying to show to your clientele on the vibe that you give and how it's going to be working with you? And so doing my own research, looking at trying to get a vibe of what the person's like, and then doing that, asking those questions and just like starting conversation and allowing people to get to know me, my voice. Like, I send voice memos. I'm a huge voice memo girly, or just like
I like
vlogs.
voice memos, especially on Instagram.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah. And so I just think it's faster. I'm so annoyed. I'm always like, I'm just gonna send a voice memo because it's easier. Like, I'm that person. And so
the next time I text you, I'll just send a voice memo.
Right, yeah. You should see me in Fuegos back and forth. It's just like back and forth voice messages. But yeah, so getting people to be comfortable with my voice, my face, having an understanding like that I'm paying attention to your business and I'm not just here to take your photos and send you on your way. Like, I want it to be successful. I want people to be like, wow, your page looks so good now. Like, I really see you out here. Like, just like, again, that success in outsourcing to be able to bring your vision to life and make a brand of yourself.
That stands out.
Yeah.
Like, you and your photography stands out because I've never heard a photographer be like, I want to work with people that are like-minded.
Yeah.
Because someone would initially hear that and be like, man, maybe what if Naya's closing herself off to other potential people and money and all that stuff? But you're saying, no, you got to get to know me first. This is so, I really respect that.
I think it just makes the flow of the shoot a lot better. Like, on my website, I have it so that it says like my about me, that I want our shoot to feel like just a couple of friends hanging out and you get cool photos out of it. Like, I want it to be like a free flowing conversation. Like, if I get someone that's a little nervous, like, I am always like asking questions about them. How long have you been doing this? Like, what's your favorite service to give? I get a lot of estheticians and hairstylists. So it's a really good, easy way to get conversation flowing because it's very similar. We're both providing a service so that we understand that from each other. And yeah. So.
Wow. Let's talk about nerves and shyness. I used to be a very shy person. I still am to an extent with some things. Especially being in front of the camera, I'm not the most comfortable. I think this podcast has really pushed me past that. I kind of have no choice.
Me too.
You're doing amazing.
Thank you.
you know, let's say you have a client, that is feeling that nervousness, that's like-minded like you, right? That you were talking about, but they've never done photos before. How do you let them kind of settle in and just be in their element and just be cool?
Yeah. So to start out my shoot, I have people sign a client contract, model contract, just like going over timeline of photos when you get your turnaround, that I can use them on my website and stuff like that. Like that takes about like 5 minutes for people to go through. So it just allows them, like, we're not jumping in right away. Like I give them a sec, I'm sitting there, I'm like, you want some water? Just like typical hospitality, and just trying to get the nerves out and let people just like relax, sign the contract, ask a bit more questions about themselves, like get to know each other in person. And yeah, I always do ask people, like, is this your first time getting a professional photo shoot done? And if they say yes, I'm like, are you nervous? And I like to just like break that ice. And sometimes people try to hide that, and that just like stops it. Like it stops the flow. Like you can tell they're nervous and they're not just like communicating that. So I try to have a open line of communication with that person. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to show you the photos as we're going. Like as we're shooting, have you do a pose, take a few photos, tell me how that looks. And I'm very like adamant on tell me if you don't like it, because this is your brand. This is what you want your photos to look like. If you're nervous and uncomfortable, you're going to be able to tell that in the photos. So as we're going, it's always like a little bit stiff in the beginning, and just like getting used to it, especially if they've never worked with me before or they don't know me like outside of Instagram. It's just about testing out poses. I always ask, do you want to start standing up or sitting down? Like just like standing, because some people are just like straight stiff,
like a soldier.
Super nervous. So some people like to start sitting down on a stool. Some people are like, no, I'm good. Like, let's start. So just like being really good about asking those questions and picking up on, I think having that background with like being around like such empathetic creatures like horses, it translates into myself, so I can really pick up on when people are nervous and just really in tune with my emotions and being able to tell what the vibe is and putting out that energy. It's all just energy transference and trying to get the energy going, bring up my energy so that they feel more comfortable to bring up their energy.
Energy. Energy is a big part of your life.
It really is. Yeah, definitely. I'm all about everything happens for a reason. I've got that tattooed on me. I've also got golden energy tattooed on me. It's just what I'm all about. I try to be a bright energy for people to tap into and to be able to feel like they can be themselves and to be able to feel like they can raise their confidence as well, because I'm showing up trying to be my most confident self and my best version of myself for my clients and making it the best experience for them.
Yeah, I like that, man. That's good. For me too. Like, I mean, I would say I'm a pretty positive person, and I think that wasn't always the case. I think the COVID isolation time, like I was in college during that time, my freshman year when it happened, and
we're the same age. Yeah, my freshman year is when COVID lockdown happened.
Oh
too.
yeah,
yeah.
Oh, crazy. Okay,
so
Gen
funny.
Z.
Yeah,
Gen Z. It really pushed me, because like, I mean, I was mentally at my worst, but at the same time, that isolation kind of gave me perspective on life and just said, if, there will never be another Ermias, there will never be another Naya exactly. Even though if we may have twins, it's still, we're unique with our own fingerprint and all that. And, if we're not going to be ourselves during this short time that we have here, then the world's missing out.
Yeah, I think I remember you talking about that on another podcast with someone, talking about the way COVID impacted people. Like, all right. And I think that it either went one of two ways for people. Like, either COVID made them really recluse and isolated and like they didn't want to go out anymore. They didn't want to talk to people as much, or it like gave people the opportunity to figure out who they really want to be and what they want. Like, cause anything can happen, a pandemic, your life, like anything can happen at any moment. And so I think some of us really took to that and decided to push our business. Cause like I've been doing photography. I just came up on my 10-year anniversary.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And so like I've been doing it, but I didn't really like push my limits and find what my niche was until COVID hit. And I just really skyrocketed and got really into personal development and business mentorship. And yeah, it was really cool for me.
Wow. I love how COVID inspired both of us to go our own ways and do our thing. That's what's up. Let's talk a little bit about dreams. and a dream photography assignment.
Yeah.
So let's say, Naya, the biggest agencies, photography agencies, I don't know what they would be. I don't know what their names are.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say they hit you up and they're like, Naya, we want you to pick a place and a time and a season to go there and take some photos. Where would you want to go? During what season would you want to go? And what would you want to be doing? Would it be taking pictures of people, nature? What describe that all?
I'm glad you asked me this question because like this is the one that I definitely spent, this one and my background one that I spent the most time with when you sent me the questions ahead of time. And it really helped me like figure that out too, because I'm very like in the moment, try to like I'm here right now. And although I do like have goals and a future that I have planned for myself, like that wasn't really something that I like really thought about, like, oh, what's my dream photography location and assignment, and until you asked me. So I appreciate you asking that because it's given me a new goal.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to tie it back to like the personal development, the energy transfer. I think my dream place would be Bali. So there's a lot of personal development retreats that they do over there, like guided meditation, just like detoxifying. There's just like a lot of cool opportunities like that over there, and that's just like something I've always been interested in going and doing. But it wasn't until like you brought it up that I was like, oh my gosh, that would be so cool to actually like go and photograph people that are super spiritually aligned like that, like me, and that are deeper into their personal development journey and deeper into their spirituality, like putting yourself out there with people who are at where you want to be, and that also helps and like rubs off on you a little bit. And I just think it would be super cool being in nature. I've never been to Bali before, but like I've just
in
like
the Caribbean, right?
No, it's Indonesia.
Indonesia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so like you'll have to go and look at up videos and stuff after. Like I've just like seen a couple of videos come up where it's just like a spiritual retreat where people go like a week to 10 days, and it's like all like there's food plan and everything for you, and it's just there, so you're around animals, around people who have been like doing healing for years and years and years, and they're just helping you get into that deeper space of your higher power, whatever it is that you believe in. But yeah, just being aligned with other people that are super into personal development and getting to photograph that, I think that would be super, super cool.
Yeah.
And very aligned with my own personal life outside of like branding and business. Like that's just something that I keep close to me outside of work is meditating, yoga, all that good stuff.
You do all that?
Affirmations. Yeah. Yeah. I just started getting into yoga in November too, actually.
What?
Yeah. Just trying to find a way to get even deeper and focus on my goals and connecting with my body and my mind and my soul.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm very about personal development, and I love the way it makes me feel. And I feel like it's really translated into my business and the way that I connect with people too. That is
really good.
Have you ever done yoga? Actually, you haven't. I heard you say that in a podcast. You've done it once, huh?
I have done it. Yeah. I've done it once. I want to get more into it.
Yeah, you should do it. I've just started doing it. Like I try to get there 3 times a week. I'm doing 75 hard right now, so I gotta get
75 hard. What does that mean?
You never heard of 75 hard?
No.
It's like a lot of people do it for New Year's resolutions too, but it's like if you do 2 workouts a day, 100 ounces of water at least, read 10 pages of a non-fictional book. You have to take a progress picture, and you have to follow a diet. So I'm like doing at least 130 grams of protein a day is my like diet.
For 75 days.
75 days straight. You have to do that. Yeah. So I've been putting my body through the ringer for sure. But yoga has been like my second workout of the day. So I've really enjoyed it, and I really like connected with a few of the instructors there, and just really found a new community that I really like. And everyone's just, again, super spiritual, super about connecting with your body and your mind and relaxing and letting go of the rest of the day. I try to go to all the night classes, like 7:30 to 8:30, because then right when I get home, I'm getting in bed and I'm just like reset for the next day.
Wow. Did you grow up spiritual, or like where did that come from?
COVID. Like I was just part of like figuring out who I want to be, the kind of person I want to show up as for others and my business. And I'm not really sure like who got me into like meditation and all that to start with. I think it's just like I just was personal development books, I think, actually is where it started. Like, I just really fell in love with reading during COVID because there wasn't much else to do, like when we were stuck in the house.
Couldn't go anywhere, nothing.
Yeah, like just hanging out and reading, a lot of cleaning the house. Yeah, but
I like that.
I like doing things that make me feel good and make me feel aligned with my energy and how I want to show up for others.
So you said you've been doing photography for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 10 years is 2014.
Yeah, 20. I was 14 years old when, like, I've been doing photography since I was 12. Like I said, I picked up my first camera, and it was like a hobby those first 2 years. And it wasn't until I was 14 I got that camera for my birthday, and I was like, okay, I think I could be like, this is what I want to do. It's what I see myself doing. And I just kept going with it and branched off into different types of photography. But I originally started in equine photography, photographing horse shows, horse and rider, portrait sessions, and then got into high school and was just doing fun portrait sessions with friends and senior photos. Yeah.
Do you have any like favorite, because I mean 10 years, I mean you've probably taken thousands of photos. Do you have like a favorite memorable one? Because again, you know, we were talking about this before the podcast. You know, you've had couples on. In fact, a couple made a cake using the photo that you took of them, which I thought was the dopest thing ever. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I've never seen that before. Nobody's ever taken one of my photos.
They must have really loved the experience, you know?
Yeah, so, I thought that was super cute. It came out really well. I'm sure it tasted great too.
Oh, I bet it did. I bet it did. And speaking of sweets, you know, I know we have some donuts over there. Then I could smell them from here.
Right? Yeah, had to bring him some Sly's donuts. If you know Paul's Bow's famous for their Sly's bakery and best donuts ever. They put voodoo to shame. A lot of places, yeah.
Better than Krispy Kreme?
Oh my God, yeah. In my opinion.
Well, I can't wait to try one then.
Yeah,
you know,
I might be biased because I do love my hometown, but
as you should though. Yeah. But yeah, any favorite memories, any favorite assignments that like stand out? It could be like a top 3, top 5 that you'll never forget.
Actually, last year, I think was my most memorable because that's when I got flown out to Palm Springs by a equine apparel company called Modern Horse.
Wow.
Shout out to Julie if you hear this. But that was when I really they flew me out there for modeling, actually, but she knew I was a photographer, and she's also the owner of the company. She's into photography as well, and so she wanted me to come out and see one of the horse shows that's out there in Palm Springs and come and help her with her shop. Like, she just offered to fly me out and model for her, and we got to go collaborate with a couple of local thrift stores in Palm Springs, and we met with this couple that own a polo barn, and they during the winter, they come back to Palm Springs, they live in Argentina, I think. But they come and they have the Coachella polo fields, like, you know, where they host Coachella and everything. Right. We did our shoot there, and they let us use a couple of their polo horses, and we got to collaborate with the apparel brand that I was modeling for, and we meshed some looks from the thrift store, and we asked the thrift owner if her and her daughter wanted to come and model, so they came out, and it was just like a cool opportunity for people to just like be creative. Like, they came up with the outfits that they wanted me to wear, and like we were all putting in our ideas, and that was just super cool. I got to sit at some cool dinners with some really high up trainers, and just like it's all people from all over the world coming into this horse show. So it was a really cool opportunity for me to get into my modeling, but also they had me behind the camera too. So like I was like in my outfit, like that I was wearing on the horse, hop off the horse, I'm taking pictures of the owner of the thrift store in my outfit. Like it was just like so cool to like mesh all 3 of my passions: horses, modeling, and photography.
Yeah, and you're getting flown out to Palm Springs. I mean, I've always wanted to go to Palm Springs myself.
I know. And it was my first time too, so I was very fortunate to be able to do that and to be picked to do that and grow my connections out there too, and be able to get my name out there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
definitely one of my top 3, and that was just last year. So
yeah, absolutely. And speaking of modeling, I know we talked about that because we've been on the topic of photography. How did you get into modeling, and I guess does that compare to photography? Is that as big of a passion as photography, or how did that happen?
It's a growing passion. So I started back in 2021 when I was like trying to figure out what I really wanted to focus my photography in on, because again, I didn't really have like a a specific niche and what I put a focus. I was just taking like, yeah, you need some pictures of your family done. Like I still do family portraits and couple portraits, but my main focus is branding now. But when I was trying to figure that out, I also was just like, how can I make my clients feel more comfortable in front of the camera? That was part of it, is like what I'm really big on in my process of getting people comfortable. And that's how I started out. I was like, no better way to do it than to get in front of the camera myself. And so I went and shadowed underneath a couple of different photographers and just modeled for them, took up was using hashtags. Hashtags go a long way.
They do. Like, they sure do.
I've never, like, I didn't know. I had photographer friends that would take photos for me, but like finding new photographers to like really get that sense of like book and go, like show up. I've never met you before. Like, let's see how you can make me comfortable. And so I took like insights from other photographers and how they did it, how they posed. I got to add different poses to my own repertoire to be able to show people. And I think that really changed my game for photography, is once I got in front of the camera myself.
Yeah. And you better do that right after this podcast too.
Yeah.
You feeling good about that?
Yeah, I am. I think I'm a lot better like getting in front of the camera when it's pictures versus video, like being recorded, like, because there's a little bit more control. Like you get to like pause,
hit a new pose, do this, do that.
Yeah. And so I think I do really well in front of the camera, and I enjoy it a lot.
Wow. Beautiful, beautiful. Well, Naya, we are coming towards the end. Before we get to the actual advice question, though, something that I actually wanted to add in real quick, if you don't mind, is, you talked about family a little bit, but what is it that, if when you look at your life and what you've been through with photography, with modeling, and all the good and the roller coasters of life, everything, is there something that, pushes you, that encourages you, that is your why? Some people like to brand it as your why. This is something I've been asking recurrently on this podcast to people, but, what is it that drives you every morning to get up? Is it your photography, or is it something deeper? Is it something more spiritual? Is it your parents? What is that for you?
That's a good question. That one wasn't on the list. I think
I'm so curious.
Yeah, I think it's myself. I think I don't really have like a person that I do it for. I think it's more so like proving to myself that I can do it. Something that I say to myself a lot when I'm like about to do something new. Like I was saying this a lot to myself last night before going, I can do hard things. Like that's one of my favorite affirmations, is getting up and doing things that most people aren't willing to do and that are scared to do. And if I can do this one thing, I can do the next thing. And so that's what's definitely been keeping me going. Creating new work, being consistent. It all aligns with what I'm trying to be and what I know that I can be, because I think about what, if I am at my most successful self, like I'm imagining where I'm at, all like my most successful, famous self, whatever it is that I become, how does that person show up? Like, how does that person start their day? And that's something you see in a lot of personal development books as well, is like, how does that person act, move, the actions that they take, all of that. And that's something like that's always in the back of my head. Like if I'm like, oh, I try and hit that snooze button, not go to the gym in the morning, would my successful self be doing that?
No, not at all.
They're gonna show up and they're probably gonna go harder than I was anticipating going.
Yeah. So it's like you're almost doing what that dream version, that almost perfect version of Naya is.
Yeah, trying to show up as her every day already, as if I already have it.
Wow.
Confidence. It's about my brand is definitely about being confident, being vulnerable, and highlighting other successes.
In a world filled with a lot of people that are going through mental health crisis and self-esteem, self-image issues. I've had that myself too.
Yeah.
It's been a journey for me and countless other people listening, I'm sure. So I think that's really powerful stuff now. And I hope you continue to do that, because you inspired me today, and I hope you continue to inspire more and more people. And
thank you.
20th anniversary, 30th, 40th, until we're both old, so. But yeah, we are at the deep end now, Naya. And this is the part where I like to ask the advice question to the younger gen. And honestly, because we are both young and we are part of that younger gen, this is kind of a question for us in our generation too. But for those that are listening that want to pursue modeling or photography, or on the other hand, that are trying to pursue any kind of pursuit. You know, they're in that season of life where they're looking for that pursuit, or they're on that pursuit and they're just in the beginning. You know, what advice would you give to those people to that are embarking on that journey?
Do hard things, do things that make you uncomfortable. Getting outside of your comfort zone is the best thing that you can do for yourself, personally and professionally. My late business coach, she actually passed away at the end of 2023 from colon cancer, but something that she really instilled on us is feeling like the dumbest person in the room. And that's because you want to be around people who already are at where you want to be and who know a lot more than you do, and whatever it is that you're going to do, whether that's like going to learn about financials and taxes and stuff like that within your business, or just doing something new like this, like podcasting. This, I'm uncomfortable as hell. I can't even lie, but I know it's something that's going to make me grow by doing the things that are hard and uncomfortable, and that, like I said before, majority of people aren't willing to do. So yeah, putting yourself out there, doing things that scare the shit out of you, and believing in yourself. Just try new things.
Wow, beautiful.
Thank
And
you.
also, for someone that's really nervous, you're doing pretty good.
Thank
So
you.
I couldn't tell at least.
Thank you.
But I appreciate you hopping on the podcast. Where can people find your work, your Instagram, people that want to do shoots with you, that feel like, you know, I'm like-minded, they raise their hand right now on camera. They're like, hey, I want to collaborate with Naya. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram. My Instagram is naya.vaughan.photographer, Vaughan. A lot of people forget that second A in there. But yeah, my website, nayavaughanphotographer.com. And yeah, you can just shoot me a DM. I love, like I said, you got to get to know me if you want to book with me. So
You guys heard her. Got to
Can't
get to
wait
know
to
her
see ya.
first. So do it. So, Naya, thank you so much. This has been amazing. And I hope you guys enjoyed this awesome episode. Stay tuned for more episodes as the Black Experience rolls on. Until next time, y'all. Peace.
thank you.
What is up, y'all? Thank you so much for tuning in to that episode. Make sure to click the subscribe, follow button, as well as the bell to get notified on all my new content that is coming out every Wednesday and every other day. And make sure to click that link in the description down below to get access to all my socials and any other platforms that I have my podcast on. And until next time, y'all, peace.